Okay, so now we're going to get into Angular 2 property binding and event binding. So property binding is basically when we want to take some values from the code and bind them with HTML. So one of the ways to do this is to use interpolation, which is double quotes, just like we did in Angular 1. So like we can see here in the code, we have a selector, which is my app, and then we have a tag h1 with interpolation with a variable name, and then in our actual class, app component class, we have variable name Alex Smith. So if you run this, we will see that we're getting, in our code, we're getting Alex Smith. Another way of doing this is by using property binding, and this is sort of like using the properties of the tags as an array. So let's go ahead, and another thing that we can do is go ahead and add image to the page. Okay, so I just went ahead and added the image, source favicon.ico, which is one of the images we have here, and we see that that works. It's displaying on the page right here. If we want to go ahead and get this from the code, we will go ahead and put a variable right here, image, and we would assign the link to our image, which for us is just favicon.ico, like we know right here. And then what we could do right here is we could say source. We would use our double mustaches here and just put image. And if we save and go back here, automatically it's loading and we see that image is still here. And then a third way of doing this, and this is the preferred way in Angular 2, is to use property binding. So we kind of make this into the array, our property, which is source, and we put image in parentheses. And there it is. We can also set style, for example, style property using this property binding. So style.color, for example, it's not only selecting the property, but value of the property also, which is pretty cool. Style.color, and we're passing in the color, and we should be getting this label to be red now. Oh, I didn't say. Also, you can set automated saving here, so you don't have to save every time. So favorite color label, it's now red. So the next thing that we'll talk about in this video is event binding. So with event binding, we have a button or something that the user clicks or selector, and we want to pass whatever they selected to the code. So it works the other way. So here we have a button, and now we'll see that for the event property such as click, we use just a regular parentheses and double quotes. Then here we put the name of our function that is going to be called for our event, and in this case we have a function called clicked, and here we just replace the color. This.color equals, if it's red, switches to blue, and default is red. So if we run this, we can go ahead and take a look what's going to happen with. We should have a button that we click on and the color should be changing. Yeah. And then finally, another thing is the selector, and we have three options here: red, blue, and green. So selector has a change, and we call color change function, and then we use this $event target.value. This will pass us the value that's been selected. Kind of important to remember this $event target.value, because this is the appropriate way that we're going to be passing the selected value from the HTML. And then down here we see we have a color change function that takes the color as a string, and it sets our color variable here. So this was an overview of doing the property binding and event binding in Angular 2.